Welcome to Spiritual Rockstar Podcast, where world-changing spiritual entrepreneurs come to deeply awaken the power within to bring forth their greatest purpose, to create massive awakened impact for millions of souls around the planet, while enjoying being in tune with all life and real wealth in all aspects of their lives. I'm your host, Daniel John Hanneman. Welcome, everybody. So glad to be with you today. A Spiritual Rockstar Podcast show once again. And I'm so grateful as your host to share with you today about losing yourself to change people's lives. And so I'm going to be sharing today a powerful story that will inspire you to be able to bring more transformation and more awakening and more awesomeness into other people's lives as a transformational artist, healer, coach, etc. that you are, or a spiritual entrepreneur. And I'm really looking forward to getting into it in just one moment. Do you want to meditate and make money? Let it be simple. Let it be easy. Let it be fun. Go to yoursacredpurpose.com and get your free Meditate, Make Money meditation today. Okay, folks, I really wanted to talk about this subject because we talk a lot about, awakening and the idea of losing your identity and coming back home. And I think there's a lot of understanding about that, but there's a lot of misunderstanding around these ideas as well. So I want to make sure that I take time today to really make sure that we cover that which is misunderstood and understood about that concept and how we can utilize and leverage it within our lives and within sales as well, particularly sales, to impact people's lives. That's what sales is all about. Sales is about impacting people's lives in a way that is meant to transform their lives. It's meant to transform their lives, right? I mean, that's the kind of work that majority of you do that are listening to the show. So how can we lose ourselves so we can show up in the highest service for those that we're here to serve? Get out of our own bloated nothingness and allow ourselves to show up as that most powerful, pure vessel of awesome sauce that we are. Okay. And we all take the bait from time to time with some frequency, I'm sure, of getting in our own way and trying to help people and allowing ourselves to buy into concepts, false beliefs, and stories that really diminishes the returns for you and the people you're here to serve. So today we're going to be talking about how to change that. What inspired to talk about it in this way is recently, not that long ago, within this last year, I believe, I did a virtual event online, a virtual retreat, and I didn't anticipate doing this, but I did a segment on sales as part of the event. And I started to get into it by sharing about a particular transformation I brought into someone's life through sales by how I showed up in an enrollment sales process that changed everything for this person's life, contributed to it. I can't say that if it wasn't for me, it would never have happened, but I was directly linked to the big, huge transformation this person had in the process of working with me and then beyond experiencing so many things. So let me tell you about this a little bit during the event, what I did, and maybe you heard it if we were able to get a chance to dub it in for you today. That song, Lose Yourself, by Eminem, who I'm not actually a huge fan of, but that one particular song, there's a lot in there that is very powerful and emotional for me. So it is actually one of my favorite songs from that perspective. The rest of it, is not for the show to talk about, my feelings about the energy and Eminem songs, etc. But that particular one it's got a deep resonance. So, start off that song, and I can really feel the emotion even now talking about it. But these moments come up, and I talked about this at this event. I talked about I played this song. We danced around to. I think actually I talked about the story first. Then we played this song, but anyway, that song is so emblematic of how we are meant to show up all the time in life, and including in sales. So especially in sales for you guys, because it's a key to everything. If you don't get the sales, you don't get to just do all the client service delivery that we want to do all the helping we want to do. So we have to get the sales accomplished and do it in a way that feels like deep service, maybe the most important service you ever do to them, like literally creating an energetic transfer of energy in the process of sales that allows them to change on the spot, that their life would be permanently changed even through the sales conversation. Those are kind of transformational sales that I like to talk about. So I was talking to them about this story that I'll tell you in a moment. And we played that whole song, and I'm going to start with the song this time, but that moment comes, are we going to, that could change everything. It could change everything. It's not so much about your life in this case, but it's about changing someone else's life, which will contribute to the experience of you losing yourself and becoming more awakened and bringing this transformation forth, and really just being a solid transformational signal for the person you're in front of. So when those moments come up, do we go into our stories and our concepts and listen to the stories in our own head that are generated often by what your prospective client is telling you? Do we go with the stories, or do we just let it slip, or do we allow ourselves to, again, the emotions coming up, to go to another level of service? The calling, like the idea, like this can't happen, I don't know if I'm interested. I don't know if this will work. I don't know if I have the money. I don't have the money. I don't have the time. I don't, whatever the ideas that come up in the whole thing. Oh, I don't know if this fits, blah, blah, blah. There's times when, okay, it's not meant to be, right? So that's true. But there are times when and there's other times you just get a sense to be of highest service, that you don't just stop with people just telling you these stories that they have, which aren't always the real truth, but are just stories, right? Sometimes people they're being legitimate with what they feel is their truth. But often when people are saying no, and I'm not going to put a percentage on it, I don't know, but a certain amount of that time, it's really just their stories talking. So we have to be aware of that and be awake in those moments, so that we can actually be a stand for them and not be in the story, be hypnotized by their story and our own stories in our head, and be in a space and container. And those consults, right? Those consults are energy scan sessions that maybe you do. There's people that have learned that from me, or whatever you offer, discovery session, but you're in that connection with them, a deep connection, a deep presence. And that you're like, no, I'm not listening to this story. So if I have, or you have, I'm in this presence, I'm in this depth, and I'm just here to serve and bring you to a decision that will change your life right now. That's the focus, right? So this is like the first step in the 3 steps I talk about, and 3 steps to yes to transformation and sales process. So it's just really setting it up so that they can really have that transformation. So it's a matter of really being awake, being courageous, showing up in ways that if you're not in your power, might feel scary or wrong or not right, but that actually are effective, which might just be for, like me, sometimes it's just been like being assertive about what I feel was true, what I was picking up on, or getting curious, asking more questions about what they're saying. Not necessarily like, again, this isn't necessarily, the idea isn't like, okay, it's not a fit, they have no money, and now you're just going to get after them until they say yes. I mean, what is that all about? I mean, that's crazy. That isn't what we're talking about. But when there is something there, And you even if they say I have no money, that you take. My stand is, I've had many sales trainers say, it doesn't seem like a perfect fit or a really good fit, relatively quickly, just drop them like a hot rock, right? But I have many stories of people that didn't seem like a great fit that ended up, getting incredible transformation by me not listening to that idea. And you got to consider, like, what are we leaving? What transformation are we leaving on the table when we buy into the idea? Well, oh, I don't know if they're a great client for me. I'll just let them go, right? Um, it's not to give into that as much and to listen more deeply to what the real truth is. So it's a real deep listening, all of life is. And this sales process too is really important. Again, you can use this as a metaphor for all kinds of things, but as we talk about it related to the sales process, is I can tell you this story now. This was, again, many years ago. I've told this story many times. Most of you probably haven't heard it though. I was leaving, actually, I believe, yeah, that was my very first live event that I was doing back when live events were just really starting to get going and become a thing. And I was, within the like coaching healer industry. And so I don't know if there was, maybe it wasn't huge, just 30 some people maybe ended up attending. Anyway, so there was one person there that, come in from Canada, journeyed his way in and got there. This person was on welfare, didn't have a way to pay necessarily to be able to get to the event, or get at a hotel room or anything. Like, this was the idea anyway at the time. Like, there's, yeah, no means. He was doing healing coaching, but that he didn't have the means. He's on welfare. And then when it came to the event, he was one of the people that came up on stage to talk and share, and for me to, I believe, to work with a little bit. It's been many, many years. This is over a decade ago. But he came up and he shared, all different types of different issues he had. And one of them too is he had a history with drugs. All those things were in his life. So there was just instant recognition from the moment I connected with him, even before the event, where I just knew this guy has got an incredible connection to the quantum field, and he's can do incredible good in the world, magic, really good things. So he's telling his story, and all the things he's experienced, his wounding or whatever it was at the time. I can't remember every detail at the moment. But when I made my offer at the event for the program I was offering, he showed interest, but he wasn't really, saying that he necessarily wanted to do it. Then I had an information session. He said he'd come to it. He didn't show up, but I constantly kept running into him. I kept saying, "Hey, I know this program's for you. You've got to, do this program." At first, he's kind of a little bit yes. Then he's like, "Well, how about one session?" All this stuff. And I'm like, one session isn't going to give you the results you're looking for. I'm like, so I was taking a stand for this, this young man, this young guy. And it's just like, yeah, he always laughs about it now. He tells people about it himself. Like, I'd run into him in the bathroom and be like, "Hey, what's the deal? Aren't you gonna come on?" And so eventually what happened is, like, I was so insistent that I literally just said it. So eventually, as we talked and talked about it, I kept taking a stand for him. No matter what he said, I wasn't deterred. There was no way I was going to be deterred. There's no way I was going to let it slip. And it had everything to do with helping him. It had nothing. Of course, we all love to have sales. Okay. So of course that as well. But like, the whole thing was like, I knew he needed to be in this program. I knew it was the right thing, and I wasn't going to let it slip for anything. And I didn't. And to the point where I literally walked him up to our sign up table where we had people helping out at the event. And, I've never done it with anybody else. With him, I remember picking up a pen, and my memory, anyways, I remember picking up the pen and giving him the order form and basically throwing the pen down on the table and saying, and telling the people at the table, hey, get him signed up, like basically just commanding him to sign up. Because I knew deep down inside, he knew it was the right thing to do. And he did. He signed up. He had a panic attack afterwards. It was very, very profound, the decision to move forward. And, some people might have thought that I might have perceived it, maybe, I don't know, might have perceived it as me coercing him into it, or, forcing the matter. But the truth is he knew it was right for him. So he never had a second thought about it, as far as I know. Well, I mean, in his head he might have, but he never verbalized that. So he joined the program. He went from welfare to making, there's a 6-figure program to go to 6 figures, and that's what he was able to do. And then he just kept growing. Now he's out in the world doing work similar to what I was doing at that time. Very, different but similar sorts of work, and reaching lots and lots of people, making well into the 6 figures. I don't know exactly how much his business is at right now, but I know he's reaching a lot of people. So, and all that may never have happened. It's possible. I'm not saying it wouldn't have happened, but it's very possible, at least, that may not have happened if I did not command him to sign up for that program. And it virtually brings me to tears right now. I mean, this is the difference we can make in people's lives. So when that moment comes, and someone's telling you a story, you just know you're meant to help them, that no matter what, you take an invincible stand for them, and you tell them, hey, you need to sign up for this program. I mean, he put the first payment of that program on a credit card. He supposedly wouldn't really have the money, like he's on welfare, but he had a credit card. He put it on the credit card, and he made all his payments because he was making money. He made money right away. He started, I mean, virtually, I mean, I don't know. He was making money somehow. He was paying somehow. That's all I remember. He did pay everything. So, and then he was able to generate the success. I seem to remember he started making new money, and, like pretty much right away from what I remember. Could be wrong about that, but again, it's been a long time, but he had this huge success. So, and there was other people at that event that I did that with too, but his story was the most powerful because of how insistent he was, or how hesitant he was to take the step. So he was more hesitant, I would say, than probably anybody else I talked to there. And then because where he came from and then where he went is the most kind of dramatic story. One of the most dramatic stories for sure of the people I've worked with. So I'm just here as a messenger today to share this story with you, and to share this principle with you. There are a lot of different ways of training you on how to let this happen, rather than just saying, hey, hold that presence, don't listen to them too much, listen to your own guidance, your own intuition. Soon you'll probably be hearing about me offering training on this, with the energy scanning I do and sales training that I bring into that. Like, I offer energy scans to people, and people become clients from that, and at a high level, because it's profound, it's deep, this work doing this energy scanning, and then the holding this space, this deep transformational space. It's really incredible. Transformation can happen right away for people, and this is just one of the examples. So yeah, I mean, when people make this, so the stronger stand I made for people that showed interest, and I knew, and but I didn't listen to their initial story. Some of them at least, for sure, have had the biggest, fastest results. So the biggest and or fastest results. Can think of other people that I just kept taking a stand for them, and I didn't tell them to do this. But they're like, okay, I use my mortgage payment this month to pay for this program, and make $10,000 from next to nothing, like just like that. So you guys, you got what if you guys help with health or relationships or something, like they're going to lose a relationship that doesn't need to be lost, or if they're going to stay in it like for another 10 years when you can help them extricate from that suffering right away, or maybe someone's depressed, maybe they become suicidal or something and die. I mean, like, but you didn't take a stand for them. You didn't take the most powerful stand possible. So you have to just do your best. I mean, it's not about guilt that I maybe got it wrong here or there with people along the way, but keep showing up and offering to help people in the most powerful way. And again, sometimes it just isn't a fit. Absolutely. I'm not saying everybody's a fit. Take everything the nth degree with every single person. I used to believe that. I don't believe that anymore. But there are people that you need to take that strong of a stance. And it can be just earth-shakingly powerful. Okay, so let me know what you think. What do you think? So have I made my case well? Do you believe in taking these strong stands for people and not listening to your own stories and their stories about why it might not be a good idea, and not doing that as much anymore? Realizing that, a lot of times it's not really the truth. It's just a bunch of stories. Are you willing to do that? Because again, I've had many people over the years say they didn't have the money, and then the next thing you know, their credit card comes out, and we're doing the transaction for them to work with me. Like, oh, there's no way I could do it. I have no money. And we keep talking about it, blah, blah, blah. Okay, here's a credit card. Let's do it. Yeah. No, even some of those people said they had no credit card room, and then all of a sudden they did. So don't listen to what people tell you as much as what your guidance is telling you, and taking that strong stand for them, and do it in a beautiful way. You can be very nice, very present, but you're very strong, taking a stand for people. So, okay, so that's what I wanted to share with you today. Again, let me know in the comments if I made my case well for you in terms of starting to do more of that in your sales conversations. And, again, make sure you're having sales conversations. You're having those sales conversations regularly on a consistent basis, so you have consistent sales and consistently transforming people's lives. That's a huge key right there. And then showing up in a stronger way. And if you're doing high ticket sales, which I like to train people on, then you don't have to have so many clients. As an empath, as a world-changing light leader that wants to do other, many things ultimately, you want to get a strong financial base going for yourself and grow and scale your business, and to do all the things you want to do. And part of that portal is doing those high ticket sales for sure. So anyway, all right. So let me know your thoughts below. Do you believe this is you're gonna make a shift with what you're doing now, or you're gonna keep doing it I call it strictly the deep namaste way? Hey, no worries. Don't worry about it. Like, no worries at all. Don't sign up. Don't work with me, and just leave them where they are and namaste it out. Like, what do you think's the smarter choice now after I shared that story with you? Let me know. Of course, it always depends, but let me know what you think below. And I look forward to hearing from you. Remember, you can connect with me on Facebook as well at Rock Your Sacred Purpose Facebook group. And I do 3 p.m. on Mondays, most Mondays every week. I do a channeling, I do energy scans for people and all that good stuff, and share more wisdom there and answer questions. So you can go to Rock Your Sacred Purpose to do that. And of course, always the Meditate, Make Money meditation and my energy scan consultation, all that you can find at yoursacredpurpose.com. All right, everybody, I'm so grateful to share with you today. Remember, don't let it slip. Capture this moment. Allow yourself to experience the power and signal of the infinite that you are, to allow more of the goodness that wants to come through in your life and the lives of others, to change people's lives so they can begin to ascend to a higher level. Everybody, lots of love and blessings. And keep on tuning in. We'll keep on rocking it here at Spiritual Rockstar Podcast. Till next time, everyone. Goodbye for now. Listening to Spiritual Rockstar Podcast. Stay tuned for our next upcoming new episodes each Saturday. Please be sure to subscribe, rate, and review to help us to serve you best. As a reminder, you can get your free Meditate and Make Money meditation at www.yoursacredpurpose.com to rock your sacred purpose. Goodbye for now, everybody.